Okay, this is my third video essay. I decided to do it on the Himalayan mountains versus the Andes mountains. I just thought it'd be fun to do. So the Himalayan mountains, they were formed from the collision of, sorry, they were formed from the collision between the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate about 50 million years ago. Um, the two plates, they are convergent plates. Reasoning for that is because the Indian plate is moving northward while the Eurasian plate collides with it. So that creates a convergent boundary. Um, for the Andes Mountains, they are it's also a convergent boundary. Sorry, that's supposed to be boundary, not plate. That's my bad. But for the Andes Mountains, it was formed from the Nazca Plate being subducted under the western edge of the South American plate. So those are the two plates that form the Andes Mountains, the Nazca and the South American. Like I said, it is also a convergent boundary. Why? Oh, sorry, knock something down. Because the Nazca plate is moving eastward toward the South American plate, and the South American plate is colliding with it. So that also creates a convergent boundary, just like the Himalayan. Okay, there we go. So, some more information on the Himalayan mountains. For volcanoes, there are actually none in the Himalayan mountains, which I personally was surprised. I thought there was going to be a lot. I feel like everyone always just assumes that there's a lot in the Himalayan mountains, but there's actually none. So it's really or interesting to know. But there are earthquakes, and the earthquakes are actually categorized into two categories. Moderate with a magnitude of like 7 average, and then the mega, which is with a magnitude greater than 8. And these earthquakes are usually deep. For the seafloor age, I'm not sure if this is the correct answer. I really couldn't find it, and I'm not sure if this is right. But the Indian plate is 50 million years old, and the Eurasian plate is 3 billion years old. So this one, I mean, they're both pretty old in age, compared to some of the other plates. I again, I don't know if that's the right answer. Yeah, I'm not confident, but the characteristics of the Himalayan mountains, obviously the heights, and I'm sorry I spelled that wrong. That's kind of embarrassing. It's the heights, steep, jagged peaks, valley and alpine glaciers, just pretty much the normal stuff, and the topography. Um, sorry, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It was is deeply cut by erosion. So onto the Andes Mountains. This one, unlike the Himalayas, is actually dominated by volcanoes. There's quite a lot of volcanoes, and they are mainly explosive. And when I was doing research on this, I actually came across a fact that said the Andes Mountains are actually responsible for, I can't remember, 6 or 7 of the like explosive volcanoes out of 40 in the world. It was something like that. So that was really interesting to read about. Um, Earthquakes, they are really common in the Andes Mountains. Pretty self-explanatory why. They're near the boundary of sorry, ah, they're near the boundary of two tectonic plates. But they're relatively shallow. They're not deep or anything compared to the Himalayan mountains. Um, yeah, and so for the seafloor age, again, I don't think this is the right answer, but I really couldn't find anything else on it. The South American plate is 70 million years old, so that one's up there in age. But the Nazca plate is only 23 million years old, which is a lot younger than the other three plates with the Himalayan and then this one. So it was pretty young compared to the other ones. And so for the characteristics of the Andes Mountains, it's made up of valleys, riverbeds, lakes, plains, all that fun stuff. So, yeah, that is my presentation on the Himalayan mountains versus the Andes mountains. Um, Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed.